Hi, today I'm going to be covering 15 questions on factoring and multiplying polynomials. Let's get started. Negative 3x times x plus 6 times x minus 9. So we want to expand the brackets. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to expand the second and third brackets first. So x times x is x squared. X times negative 9 is minus 9x. 6 times x is plus 6x. And 6 times negative 9 is negative 54. So if I rewrite, I want to collect like terms. So negative 9x plus 6x gives you negative 3x minus 54. Now I'm going to multiply each of the terms inside of the bracket by negative 3x. So negative 3x times x squared is negative 3x cubed. Negative 3x times negative 3x is positive 9x squared. And negative 3x times negative 54 gives you positive 151/62x. So the answer is E. Number 2, x squared plus 5x minus 7 times x plus 2. So here I'm going to multiply the first one by the first term in the first bracket by the second term in the first bracket times the second, and like this. Let's do this. So x squared times x is x cubed. X squared times plus 2 is plus 2x squared, plus 5x times x is 5x squared. 5x times positive 2 is 10x. Negative 7 times x is negative 7x. Negative 7 times 2 is negative 14. We're all done with expanding the brackets. Now I'm going to collect like terms. X cubed. And we have 2x squared and 5x squared. So total 7x squared. So these are gone. And 10x minus 7x is plus 3x. And then we have the minus 14. So the answer is, let's see, x cubed plus 7. Answer is D. Let's keep going. So we have 3 brackets, x minus 6 times x minus 3 times x minus 1. I'm going to expand the first bracket first. So we have x times x is x squared. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. Negative 6 times x is negative 6x. And negative 6 times negative 3 is positive 18. And then we still have the negative x minus 1. I'm going to collect like terms again. So negative 3x minus 6x, negative 9x. And again, I'm going to expand the brackets. 9x, it's positive 9x, it's positive 18x, minus 18. Collect like terms. I have negative x squared minus 9x squared, so negative 10x squared. And plus 9x and plus 18x, so that's 27x minus 18. And the answer is E. What are the factors of 64x cubed minus 16x? So immediately I see that I can do common factoring first. And what can I factor out? Well, I can factor out 16. And I also see that I can factor out x. So what number multiplied by 16 gives you 64? That's right, it's 4. And what multiplied by x gives you x cubed? It's x squared. And similarly, what multiplied by 16 gives you negative 16? Negative 1. And what multiplied by x gives you x? It's just 1. So that's it. And we can see that this what's inside the bracket can be factored once again by difference of squares. And it's simply 2x plus 1 times 2x minus 1. The answer is E. what are the factors of 2x cubed plus 8x squared minus 192x? So as I said again, you always want to look for common factors first. So in this case, I can divide, 2 goes into all 3 coefficients. And then I can also factor out x. So again, what times 2x gives you 2x cubed? It's x squared. And here I have 4x, because 4x times 2x gives you positive 8x squared. And what's 192 divided by 2? That's 96, like so. And the second part of the equation, the bracket, it's simple trinomial. I want to write it like this. So I want to find 2 numbers that multiply to give you negative 96 and add to give you 4. Let's write some out. 2 numbers that multiply to negative 96. So let's see, negative 6 and 16. They multiply to give you negative 96, but they add to give you positive 10, so that's not it. What about negative 8 and 12? Negative 8 times 12 gives you negative 96, and negative 8 plus 12 gives you 4, so that's the correct pair. Like so, and the answer is B. What is the root of x times x minus 1? X plus 1 is equal to 27 minus x. So whenever we're looking for roots, we want to move everything to one side and set that equation equal to 0. So let's do that. X, I'm going to multiply the 2 brackets first, because that's simply a difference of squares. And I'm going to expand the brackets. So x cubed minus x. And then I can move, actually let's do it step by step. And you'll notice that I have negative x's on both sides, so I can cancel these out. And then I have x cubed is equal to 27. So what is the value of x? Well, I take the cube root to cancel the cube and the cube root here. So x is equal to, what's cube root of 27? It's 3. Why? Because 3 times 3 times 3 gives you 27. The answer is C. Moving on, the fraction x squared plus 8x over x cubed minus 64x is equivalent to. So you want to factor both expressions and see if you can cancel any of them out. Reduce it. So I'm going to work with the numerator first. What can I factor out? I can factor out x from both terms. So x times x and then 8x. That's the numerator. The bottom, I can also factor out x like so. I notice that I can, on top of that, I can also factor more. This part here is difference of squares. So it's going to be x plus 8, x minus 8. Now I'm going to look for things that I can cancel. X cancels with x plus 8 cancels with x plus 8. So I have 1 on top and bottom x minus 8. The answer is A. Let's keep going. Question number 8. The fraction x squared plus 6x plus 5 over x cubed minus 25x is equivalent to, I want to factor the top first. It's 2 numbers that multiply to give you 5 and that add to give you 6. That's 5 and 1. So it factors like this. In the bottom, I have x cubed minus 25x. I can factor out x first, common factor. Again, I see that there is difference of squares on the denominator. So x squared minus 25 is simply x plus 5, x minus 5. Let's look for ways to reduce this fraction. X plus 5 cancels with x plus 5. And I think that's it. So x plus 1 over x times x minus 5. Oh, it looks like in each of A, B, C, D, E, they multiplied it out. So I'm just going to rewrite the bottom by expanding the brackets. X times x is x squared minus 5x. So my answer would be C. The fraction 2x squared plus 4x divided by 4x cubed minus 16x squared minus 48x is equivalent to. Okay, so at the top, I can immediately see that I need to do common factoring. So 2x times x gives you 2x squared plus 2 times 2x gives you 4x. So that's the top. And the bottom looks a bit more complicated, but it really isn't. You want a common factor first, and you can common factor by 4, because 4 goes into all three, 4, negative 16, negative 48. You can also factor out x. So if I do that, I have x squared here, minus 4x, and then minus 12, right? And the bottom bracket, I can factor once more, because that's a simple trinomial. So I want to find a number that multiplies to give you negative 12 and add to give you negative 4. So let's think about what that number might be. What about 6 and 2, or negative 6 and 2? Well, negative 6 and 2, they multiply to give you negative 12. Negative 6 plus 2 is negative 4. So that's exactly the pair that we're looking for. So negative 6 and plus 2. And let's see what I can cancel. So x plus 2 cancels with x plus 2. X's cancel. I can factor 2 and 2 like so. So on top I have 1. On the bottom I have 2x minus 6. So what is this? Well, this is the same as C if I just expand the brackets here. Because that's 2x minus 12. Question number 10. What is one value that makes the fraction undefined? So for a fraction to be undefined, if the denominator is equal to 0, then the fraction is undefined. Okay, so I don't really care about the numerator. I care about the denominator. So let's see what I can do. So I want to factor, if this expression is to be undefined, I want to set the bottom equal to 0, right? Because that way the bottom is going to become undefined. And I'm going to move it like that. Why? Because then I can take cube root. And these will cancel out. So x is equal to, what's the cube root of negative 125? It's negative 5. Why? Because negative 5 times negative 5 times negative 5 gives you negative 125. So the answer is B. Number 11, what values make the fraction x squared plus 7x plus 12 over x cubed plus 3x squared minus 4x undefined? Again, I want to set the bottom equal to 0. Denominator is really the only thing that I care about for these questions involving fraction becoming undefined. I can common factor x, like so. Let's factor it. Two numbers that multiply to give you negative 4 and add to give you 3. Well, that's going to be plus 4 and minus 1. Because minus 1 times 4 is negative 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. And that's equal to 0. And for this expression to be 0, there are three possible answers. X, the first term, could be 0, which means x is equal to 0. The second term could be 0. X plus 4. What makes x plus 4 go to 0? Well, if x is equal to negative 4. And the third possibility is if x minus 1 is equal to 0, which means x is equal to 1. So your answers would be negative 4, 0, and 1. So B.